Hi, welcome to my video on multiplying decimals by 10, 100, or 1,000. Multiply decimals by 10, 100, or 1,000. A, multiply by 10. So 4.2 times 10, 0, 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 4 times 1 is 1. Add 0 to 4, and we have one decimal place, so we have 42. Note 42. Multiply by 10. 10 times is 0, 0, 0. Notice you have all zeros. 1 times 7 is 7. You move over one place. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. 0, 7, 4, 3. And I have two decimal places, so we move a 2 to the left, so we get 34.7. Notice when you multiply by 10, the 4.2 decimal place moved 1 to the right. When you multiply by 10, it moved from between the 3 and the 4 to between the 4 and the 7. So multiplying by 10 moves the decimal 1 place right. 1 place to the right from where it is. Multiplying by 100. So let's take 100 first and put down 4.2. 0, 0, 2. Multiply 4 by 0 is 0, 4 by 0 is 0, 4 by 1 is 4. So we get 4200. And we have one decimal place. So we get 420. Multiply by 100. So let's put the 100 down first and multiply. So 0 times 7 is 0. And 0 times that 7 is 0. Let's multiply by 1. 7, 4, 3. Notice when you multiply by 100, the first two zeros when you multiply are zeros, so we can just put them in directly without going like 0, 0, 0, and then the next row is 0, 0, 0, so on. And that becomes two decimal places, so it becomes 3, 4, 7. So when you start here, you go two places to the left, so you get 347. Notice when you multiply by 100, the decimal is moving two places to the right. So notice it was right here, it moved to there. It was between the 3 and the 4, now it's over to the 7, so you move it two places. So guess, if you multiply by 1,000, it should move three places. 1, 2, 3. So you get 4,200. Multiply by 1,000, it moves three places. 1, 2, 3. So you get 3,470. So three places to the right when you multiply by 100. So we have some more samples down here to make sure you understand. A, if you have 7.3 and you multiply by 10, it moves one place. So one place is there. Multiply by 100, it moves two places. So it was between the 3 and the 7, so two places is 1, 2. Multiply by 1,000 is three places. So 1, 2, 3. Multiply by 10 is one place. So it was between the 8 and the 4, so it goes between the 4 and the 6. Two places. It was here, 1, 2. It was between the 8 and the 4, so it moves three places. Multiplying by 10 moves it one place, so it moves between the 0, so it's right there. Multiplying by 100, it moves two places, so it moves there. Multiplying by 1,000, it moves three places, so it moves one place right there, multiplied by 100, 2 places, multiplied by 1,000, 3 places. Decimal 0.9 multiplied by 10 moves it 1 place. So we get, multiplied by 100 moves it 2 places. So we get it. So 1, 2. Multiplied by 1,000 is 3 places. So we need an extra. Decimal 6 multiplied by 10 becomes 6, 1 place. Multiplied by 100 is 2 places. So it's 60. Multiplying by 1,000, 3 places. 1, 2, 3. Multiplying by 10, 1 place. 0.1. Multiplying by 100, 2 places. 0.17. Multiplying by 1,000, 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So 770.2. Multiplying by 10, 1 place. Multiplying by 100, 2 places. Multiplying by 1,000, 3 places. So you can see it's easy to do. Multiplying by 10, move 1 place to the right. Multiplying by 100, 2 places to the right. Multiplying a decimal by 1,000, move it 3 places to the right. Now you pause your video, put the answers in for these, and to see if you're right. So decimal 2, 1 place is 2. 2 places, 20. 3 places, 200. Multiplied by 10, 43.7. Multiplied by 100, 2 places. Multiplied by 1,000, 1, 2, and you have to put an extra 0 on. Multiplied by 10, 1 place, so it's between the 1 and the 9. Multiplied by 100, 2 places, between the 9 and the 5. Multiplied by 1,000, 3 places, decimal, 195. And we move it 1 place, decimal 3. 2 places, we have to put an extra 0 on. 3 places, we have to put 2 more zeros on. Multiplied by 10, 1 place. 2 places, 1 place. 3 places, we put an extra 0. Decimal 13 multiplied by 10 becomes 1.3, 1 place. Decimal 13 multiplied by 100, 2 places, so 13. And 3 places, we put an extra 0 on. 1, 2, 1 more 0. Now we have some simplification. When we do simplification, you notice we got multiplication, addition, we got brackets and everything else. So we have to do PEMDAS. Always write down this when you're doing your, or you can think of BEDMAS. Your choice. But parentheses or brackets is first, exponents is second, multiplication, division as you work left to right, addition, subtraction as you go left to right. Let's look. We have a multiplication, an addition, and a multiplication. So we have no parentheses or brackets. We have no exponents. So let's multiply 0.40 by 10. Multiply by 10, move the decimal 1 place to the right. Multiply by 100, move the decimal 2 places to the right. 1, 2. So it's 32.6. And we have to add these together. So 32.6, add on 4.1. We line up the decimals. 7, decimal, 6, 3. So 36.7. Number 2. BEDMAS again, or PEMDAS, we'd have to do the inside of the brackets first. So we have a 12.3, subtract. There's the times. Write it all down. And if we subtract these, so 18.7, subtract 8.7. 7 subtract 7 is 0. 8 subtract 8 is 0. And we get a 1. So that's a 10. So we have a subtraction and a multiplication. So we have to multiply first. So we leave the 12.3 alone, subtract. 10 times 3.4 is 34 because the decimal moves 1 place to the right. So when we subtract here, notice I have a negative. So can't subtract it. Well, we can, but we'll get a negative number. So let's make the 4 a 1 of 4. So we're able to subtract and not get a decimal. Sorry about that. When I multiply by 10, I get, and we subtract 34 from that. 3 subtract 0 is 3. Can't subtract, so that becomes a 3 and a 12. 12 subtract 4 is 8. 3 subtract 3 is 0, so we get an 8.3. So notice, multiplying by 10, we get 34, and as I had it before, I just had to change the 4, so I would not get a negative. 3, work the inside of the brackets first. Okay, when we add these up, looks like we get a, let's see, let's add these on top here. 652.9, 347.1. Decimals under decimals, when we add 0, carry 1 is 0, carry 1, 9, 1 is 10, carry 1 is, so we get 1,000 when we simplify the inside of that first bracket. Subtract, and we have to do the inside of this bracket first, so we get an 18.2, subtract 8.2, that gives us a 0, decimal 0, so we get a 10. Now we have a multiplication subtraction, so we multiply. When multiplied by 1,000, a decimal moves 3 places, 1, 2, 3, so we get 42.8. Subtract, multiply by 10, and we get 1 place to the right, we get 31.4. And when we subtract, we get 42.8, subtract 31.4, we get a 4 and a 1 and a 1, so 11.4. Order of operations. Don't forget, I write this down, and as I do my BEDMAS order of operations, I take off any parentheses, yes, any exponents, yes. As I do them, I mark them off. Now we have a simplification. Notice we have this time, in number 4, we have a multiplication, brackets, exponents. So P-E-M-D-A-S, write it down. So I have to do the inside of the brackets first. So, okay. So when I add these two, I get 0.7. Add on. And I have to subtract the inside of this bracket. So 2.5 subtract 2.2 is a 3.0. So 0.3. The inside of the bracket is done. Now I have to do exponents. So notice I will leave this multiplication alone. I will not touch this until I get my exponent done. So decimal 3 times decimal 3. 3 times 3 is 9, 2 decimal places, so I get decimal 9. So that's decimal 9 when I square decimal 3. And now I have a multiplication addition. I multiply, so I have 1.5 times 0.7. 5 sevens is 35. You got to carry a 3, so that's 10. And that makes 2 decimal places, so that becomes 1.05. Add on 0.09. And when I add those up, I put it over on the side. So when you add, read and write it here. 9 plus 5 is 14, carry your 1. So I get a 1.14. Again, notice I do one step at a time. I do my brackets, I did my exponents, then I did my multiplication, division, that's gone, and then I did my addition last. One step at a time. So when somebody goes to look at this, what did he do? You can follow the order of how I did it. Number 5, let's do PEMDAS again, P-E-M-D-A-S, or BEDMAS. I have to do the inside of the brackets, but the inside of this bracket has a multiplication and a subtraction. So even on the inside, I still have to obey PEMDAS. So I have to do my multiplication and division first before I subtract. So 1,000 times decimal 0012, it moves it 3 places to the right. So I get 1.2 when I multiply by 1,000. 1, 2, 3. That's done. No more brackets to do. All the inside of the brackets is done. So let's continue. Write it all down. So I did this. Now I have to continue. This bracket is done. I have to continue working this out before I do anything else. So 2.4 subtract 1.2 gives me 1.2. 2.4 subtract 1.2. 4 subtract 2 is 2. 2 subtract 1 is 1. Decimal. So I have the inside of that bracket, first bracket, done completely. Let's continue. The order of operations is extremely important in algebra. Extremely important. Now I have to do my exponents. So 1.2 squared, 12 squared is 144. And when I multiply 1.2 times 1.2, that's 2 decimal places, so I get 1.44. 0.2 cubed is decimal 2 times decimal 2 times decimal 2. That makes it an 8. And I got a one decimal place 3 times, because I get, if you notice, I get decimal 2 times decimal 2 times decimal 2. That's 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So I get decimal 0.008 divided by 0.08. I could put a 0 here if I want. Now I have the brackets all done. I have my exponents done. Now I have to do multiplication, division, left to right. So I have to divide these two first. So decimal 0.08 divided into decimal 0.008. I have to have my divisor. The decimal has to be on the right, so I move it 2 places. So I move it 2 places in my dividend. So there it is, moving it 2 places. And when I do that, I move it up. So that's an 8 into this 0 and a 0 and a 0. Not necessary to do that. 8 into 8 goes once. 1 times 8 is 8, and I subtract and I get a 0. So I get 0.1. When I add that on to 1.44, I get 1.44, add on 0.1, 4, 5, 1, and a decimal. So PINBAS, very, very important. Follow it. And if you like my video, sorry about the mistake there and the subtraction. Didn't want any negatives. I could have had a negative, but didn't want it. We'll do negatives later. Click on my like button, subscribe button, notification bell, write a comment if you wish. And visit my math website, mathfullyexplained.com. There you'll get information about me, my degrees, teaching experience, videos, teaching strategies used to help you learn. The content on my YouTube channel will have the topics, the number of videos. Topics completed will be in black font. Topics to be completed will be in red font. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.